So where will you find the most ancient Pueblo site in the American Southwest? Well, it's not Mesa Verde. It's a place called Chaco Canyon. This is a site filled with mystery. It's filled with ancient history, with culture. It's been designated by UNESCO as a World Culture Site. You know, I've seen the Great Wall of China. I've seen the Red Fort in India, seen the Heidelberg Castle in Germany. But this place is different. You know, this is my country. This is where I was born. I was born in Alabama in the southeast, and this is the southwest. But did you realize that 600 years before Columbus sailed across the Atlantic, hundreds of years before Vespucius explored North America, there were a people who lived right here, a real people who faced real situations, who had real culture, and were brilliant. The construction that they did, they have built more than 15 sites in this area, and all of them perfectly aligned. Aligned to the movement of the sun and the movement of the moon. How did they do it? Well, that's one of the mysteries. But the fact is they did it. We like to consider ourselves so advanced, and we look at cultures in the past as primitive. I'm not so sure. Chaco Canyon Cultural Center is managed by the U.S. Park Service. And when you come in to the area, the rangers at the visitor center are there to welcome you, and they're great with giving information. You have to check in there, and if you're a senior citizen, you can get an annual pass at a discounted rate. If you're a veteran, or if you're a Gold Star family member, you can get a lifetime pass to all national parks. So it's quite a deal. But regardless, if you have to pay, it's still worth it. These places are amazing. But when you come, you'll learn that there's something special here. So as you walk on the land, walk gently. This is Hungo Pavi. It's one of the Chacoan great houses. It was occupied between the 11th century and the mid-1200s. It's considered a sacred site. So as you walk on Hungo Pavi, make sure that you stay on the trail. Chaco Canyon is known for its ancient Puebloan culture and its impressive architecture. See how tightly these stones were cut and placed together. Let's get up here to it so you can see it. You can see that age and weather has caused it to start to decay, but it's amazing. Look at this wall. Now the thing is, these walls are lined with the solar equinox, and that comes up in about 2 weeks from now. But when the sun comes up, it will be perfectly aligned with this wall. And the fascinating thing is, this isn't the only one. It's done this way with great house after great house. That again is spread over 15 miles across and separated by mesas and by buttes, not able to be seen in order to line it up. But they did, and yet they lived here from about 800 until around 1250, when suddenly they packed up and they were gone. When I first learned about Chaco Canyon, there were two great houses that really struck me, and the reason I wanted to come here. One is Pueblo Alto, and Pueblo Alto is up on top of that right there. Now the second one that I wanted to see was Pueblo Bonito, and then there's also Chetro Ketl, and we're going to walk down there and look at it first, and then we'll come back and go to Pueblo Bonito. But again, Chetro Ketl, one of the Chacoan great houses, it was occupied between 950 and the 1250s. It's the second largest of the great houses. It covers more than 3 acres. Remember, this was built around 880. Hundreds of rooms. Still that same standard construction. The walls are maybe about 30 inches thick. Very, very straight as you look at them. And those old wood beams going through. Now, I'm guessing that's not their construction. They think that this was a trading site as well. Trading with cultures in far-flung regions. They found artifacts of parrot-shaped dolls, again, more reminiscent of ancient Aztecian cultures. And look at this. And this is one of the kivas, these pit structures that were used for ceremonial purposes. And as you walk down, you walk along the Petroglyph trail, and here, there's a couple of petroglyphs right here. One looks like, to me, a buffalo maybe, facing, it almost looks like a native head facing off the buffalo, or maybe it's another buffalo facing off the buffalo. I can't really tell. And then above, it looks like some kind of, maybe a bird that's just stretched out straight up and down. I can't really tell what those are, but I'm sure that there are experts that can. And let's see if we can't find out. If anybody knows what those are, leave a comment for the rest of us. But all through this trail, there's petroglyphs all along the face of this canyon wall. Well, let's walk down and visit Pueblo Bonito, another of the Chacoan great houses. This was occupied between 850 and the 1250s, when they just boarded up the windows and vacated the premises, and adding to the mysteries of this place. But Pueblo Bonito is this semicircular structure, and it's one of the public buildings that served for the surrounding communities throughout the Chaco region. So it was used for a lot of different roles: ceremonies, administration, trading, storage, hospitality. What fascinates me about these is not only how they were constructed, but how the sites were selected and how they were oriented to the sun. So this is Pueblo Bonito. And if you look, this was at least 3 stories tall. And you got the first floor, and then you see windows into the second floor, and then what looks to me like the beginning of one of those T windows, one of those keystone windows for the 3rd floor. The architectural engineering astounds me. Very fascinating. These rooms with these interiors, and again, there's one of those T-shaped windows. Behind me is the plaza, and it's thought that this might have been the first plaza that was built. Again, this structure was used for all kinds of gatherings and functions, so it was a large plaza that you have. And they found the root of a huge cedar tree that was right in there that had been planted. When we go up to Pueblo Alto, we're going to look across and see the swells of a road. And they built this road perfectly straight for 40 miles. 40 miles, 30 feet wide, and it even had limestone curbing. This culture is amazing. Now, some of these rooms have no windows. They're below grade. You can see that little doorway there. I think maybe you can see that it's been stoned up. It's been closed up. That one too. A lot of these were just closed up when they left. And so you have this, and then what I thought might have been a 3rd or 4th floor is actually just a 2nd floor opening to another level. So Pueblo Bonito, a structure of mystery in a place of mystery. Let's keep going. When I first got to Chaco Canyon, 2 things struck me. First, It's just the beauty of this place. Understanding the historical importance of it, the cultural importance. Natives today still revere this site. It's part of their heritage. It's where they came from, literally. Talking to one man yesterday, talked about how, you know, their teaching, their belief is that they emerged from this place, and that they have been given the mandate, if you will, to take care of this place, but not just this place, but all the earth. I was struck by that. I was thinking, if it was our mandate to take care of the earth, what would that look like? But then the other thing that struck me on the other side was just how challenging it must be to maintain it. When you look at these pueblos, when you look at these structures, you can see there's amazing construction. And at the same time, they look so fragile. And you can see where the heat of the arid summers and the freezing of the severe winters has taken their toll. These structures seem to be wearing out. So I find two things. One is the importance of recording it for future generations of those who have the mandate to care for this place, and the rest of us who have the appreciation of seeing just how amazing it is. We're going to stroll up here to Vida. See these Chacoan structures. Built around 850, and then they left in 1250. I was talking to another guy yesterday, and he said that their belief is that the people who came here knew that they would leave. That was their prophecy, that they would come and set this place up as sort of an example, a center of culture. They certainly did that. But then they were going elsewhere to do the same thing. And he said that they have discovered the same style of construction in many places. But this appears to be one of the first. I think I'm going to set up and get a photo of this. Just sort of trying to, it's so much of it, it's hard to compose a shot for it. I've got plenty of light, and the sun is coming in to my right. So I'm going to use it as a cross, and I'm going to use this vegetation that sort of leads up to the ruins and see what this looks like. All right. That sort of does it. That sort of leads you up to it. Get down low. Yeah, right like that. And then a major part of the challenge too is to preserve this while at the same time welcoming visitors to come and enjoy it. Oh wow. And you come up and it just keeps getting more and more amazing. Let me show you a couple of these things. Looky here. That's the face of it. It's so smooth, the way they made those rocks, where they cut them, got that wide doorway. And then when you go and look up there, you see so much more of it. And if you got your climbing legs about you, you might want to take this trail. This trail brings you up out of Vida, climbing up through these rocks. Then you come to this point. And you know, it seems like it's always been in the nature of humankind to want to be heard beyond the sound of our voice. And on the side of these rock faces, they tell stories. I don't know what the story is, but you see here is a man. He looks like he's almost riding maybe I guess it could have been a horse, but I don't think so. He's riding something with long ears. Maybe he's riding a rabbit, but there are elk and there's deer and there's all kinds of beasts all through here. It looks like maybe a cat. And over here you've got deer and elk. And then there is the spiral coming down below it all. The calendar, remember at Fajada Butte, the calendar that's up on top, that spiral. Fascinating. They wanted to be heard, and they also wanted to be known for their architectural engineering. Standing out there is the place that started it all. There's Fajada Butte. More about it tonight. Of so many things, and I want to show you one more. They made a road, a superhighway, 40 miles due north, 30 feet wide, limestone curbs all along the way. Where were they going? How far were they going to go? I guess the superhighway is one of the reasons for the theory that this was a major trade center. They found artifacts of parrot-shaped dolls and icons reminiscent to the people in Mexico. And the architecture used has been replicated various places all through the Southwest. So, yeah, it makes sense that this was a major trade center in its day. But how? But what brought the people to this place in the beginning? It's another one of the mysteries of Chaco Canyon. I think this is Dan Noble's opinion. I'm not a scientist, but I've read and I've listened to a lot of theories about what this place was, a trading center, a cultural center, a village where people lived, real people who faced real challenges. Lots of theories. So I guess it doesn't hurt to throw in my 2 cents. I wouldn't even give it the status of a theory. But I do wonder, are we thinking too small? When I look at the layout of these buildings, these great houses as they're called, and as I look at the layout, each unique in its own way, each certainly the design is consistent with the straight walls, the way that they knitted the stone together with such precision, cutting it in the faces of the walls so smooth. The way that they lined them up according to the sun's path across the sky. Are we thinking too small? Is what we're looking at just a series of buildings or a city? A city with maybe a university where people came and studied. Oh, they might not have called it a university, but it was certainly a place for learning. So maybe some of these buildings was the learning center. Maybe some of the buildings were for trade and others were for ceremony and worship. Others as dwellings to live in community. Are we thinking too small? Is this just a series of very beautiful, unique, great buildings? Or were people this intelligent, this advanced? Was this where they chose to form a rich cultural center of a city? Well, it's a mystery for sure. And I won't know. But I do wonder. And just like that, we're back. Whether it's the Fajada Butte or Pueblo Bonito, it's an amazing place. So how do you video Chaco Canyon? You can use the breadth of your skills, from very simple to very technical. The trails can be very simple and very easy, or very technical as you go to Pueblo Bonito. It's a place really for everyone, but it was a place for very special people. So how do you video Chaco Canyon? Well, I would say that you do it lightly. You do it with great respect. You leave no trace, and you honor those who came before. If you liked this video, check out these over here. This is where I was in the Great Sand Dune National Park, hiked through there, and then at night I was treated to a spectacular view of the Milky Way. Let me share that with you. So until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, stay on the path. God bless you.